Joe DeMarco, chiropractor and owner of Ocramed Health. And you know, I've been a chiropractor for almost 30 years, so obviously I've seen a lot of patients in my office with lower back problems. And a common trait that I see among these individuals, and in particular those that have like reoccurring low back problems, is the supporting musculature around the lower back is usually underdeveloped. It's usually atrophied, or it's just never been developed. And it's a common trait, and it doesn't matter whether the individual oftentimes is someone who has a sedentary lifestyle and they're sitting at a desk all day, or even one of the many athletes that I treat in my office every day. I'll notice that area of the lower back, and in particular we're talking about the erector spinae muscles, the lower part of the latissimus dorsi muscle, those muscles just are not properly developed. It does not they're not able to support the lower back, and so injuries occur. So what's an easy way, you know, as soon as people come into my office, there's an easy way. I can just look at them and in 2 seconds tell whether the musculature is properly developed. You know, when you look at your lower back, it shouldn't have a flat appearance to it. There should be almost the thickening of those supporting muscles should actually create almost like a concavity where the lumbar spine is. Let me show you what I mean. not that my low back muscles are perfect, but the muscles here on each side should be thick enough so that it creates like an indentation where the lumbar spine is. And when someone does not have good supporting muscles, it just looks flat. You can just tell immediately that there's no thickness to those muscles, and that's bad. It's not going to lend any support to the spine. And you know, whether you're, like I said, whether you're sitting around all day at a desk or you're an athlete and you're in the gym, those muscles have to be strong. So what we're going to do today is I have a series of just some body weight exercises to help strengthen those erector spinae muscles in particular, and also some of the latissimus dorsi, parts of the latissimus dorsi muscles that are helpful also. We have some body weight exercises to help strengthen those areas. I would perform them 3 or 4 times a week. Whether you're sedentary and you just want to avoid lower back pain, or you're an athlete and you just want to avoid injuries, whether you're you know, in a particular type of sport, or you're just a weightlifter in the gym, you want to develop these muscles to avoid injuries. I know myself, as I continue to try to lift heavy in my golden years, one thing I pay a lot of attention to these days is keeping not only my core strong, but in particular keeping those erector spinae muscles strong so that I don't have injuries as I continue to try to push heavy weight, you know, in my squat, in my deadlift. And so I'll use these exercises for my particular schedule. I do them in the evening a lot of times, because a lot of times in the evening I do extra stretching after I've already worked out. I'll do some extra stretching, some extra rolling, and I'll do my extra core work, and I'll throw in these type of exercises 3 or 4 days a week. If you have a different type of schedule, you may want to do this in the morning. I don't do it on, you know, as part of my training. I do it either before the training or after the training, just when I spend extra time, which everyone should be doing, stretching and rolling. That's another great way to avoid injuries. So that's when I do these. You want to get them in 3 or 4 times a week. They're all body weight exercises. They're pretty easy to do. So let's get right to it. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do for our back muscles, I'm going to use a broomstick. If you just want to use a towel and pull a towel out straight, that's absolutely fine. I like using a broomstick. I'm going to grip it in an underhand grip. I'm obviously on my stomach. I have my arms stretched out. My feet are back. First part of the exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my arms and feet up off the ground. And then from this position, I'm obviously engaging my erector spinae muscles, and now I'm going to engage my lats even more by pulling my elbows back, and I'm going to bring the broomstick right to my upper chest and then all the way back out. And maintain your feet off the ground and maintain your arms off the ground. And really concentrate on just squeezing. So obviously there's no weight added. I'm just using body weight. But just this contraction on my lats and my erectors as I pull this broomstick towards my chest, I'm squeezing and I'm getting a nice contraction in all the muscles. And it doesn't matter that I'm not using any weight because I'm feeling the fatigue in all the muscles that I want to target. And what I'll do is 3 sets of 15 repetitions of that movement. All right, this next exercise we're going to do in 2 variations. The first one's a simpler exercise. When it becomes too easy, you can do 3 sets of 20 repetitions. Then you move on to the second exercise. So the first one is just going to be, we're going to be on our stomachs and we're going to alternate lifting the one arm and the opposite leg. So I'm going to lift the left arm and right leg. And every time I lift, I'm going to give it a 1,001, 1,002 count. Then bring it down, and then the opposite arm, the right arm with the left leg. 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002. So when you get to the point where 3 sets of 20 repetitions feel too easy, you move on to this harder variation where you're going to lift the arms and the feet together. 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002, and try to build that up to 3 sets of 20 repetitions. Okay, this next exercise, once again, you're going to go 2 variations. First, an easier one, and then a more advanced one. First off, this can be done from the elbows, like in a plank position, or I'm going to perform it from like a push-up position. So either way, from the elbows or from a straight arm position is fine. Keeping the glutes tight, the abs tight, nice and tight core position. And from here, we're going to alternate lifting up one leg at a time. So I'm going to lift the left leg off the ground, 1,001, 1,002, bring it back down. And then we're going to do the opposite leg, 1,001, 1,002. And we're just going to alternate, nice and controlled, staying tight. If you ever get to the point where, as you're doing these repetitions, that you feel that back starts to sway in, then that's where you stop the exercise. Don't allow the back to sway in at all. And we're going to continue to alternate. When you can get to 3 sets of 20 repetitions, then you're going to move on to this next exercise, which is going to be more advanced. So once again, this advanced exercise, you're going to have to do from a straight arm position. It's kind of difficult to do off the elbows, but I'm going to be back into that push-up position. And I'm also going to just open the legs up just a little bit for a little extra balance. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the left arm and the right leg up off at the same time. Come back down, and I'm going to alternate. Just like that. 1,001, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002. And once again, try to build that up to 3 sets of 20 repetitions. Okay, this next exercise, you can do it with the arms flat on the ground. I'm using two yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can put a couple thick books on each side. So either way, you can do it without it. You won't get as much range of motion. I like having the yoga blocks, or like I said, you can use some books. This is a great exercise for the lats as well as the erector spinae muscles, and this is how it's performed. I'm going to put those blocks on each side, and I'm going to have my elbows up on the blocks. My elbows and the back of my arm is on the blocks. My hands are just pointing up towards the ceiling. From this position, I'm going to do 2 things at the same time. The first part of the motion that we're going to do is I'm using my legs to lift the buttocks off the ground, and at the same time, I'm pressing my elbows back and lifting my torso off the ground. So when you put it all together, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so as I said, you can go without the blocks and have your arms just flat on the ground like this. You won't get as much range of motion. It's great to have the yoga blocks or use some books. If you can't quite lift the entire body off the ground, the way you can start doing this exercise at first is, instead of lifting everything off of the ground like this, you can leave like your head on the ground and kind of do this type of motion where you just lift the back and not really pick your shoulders up. So you can start with this type of motion where you push back, your head is still on the ground, and eventually you can get to the point where take the head off the ground with the back. That's a great way to activate the lats, the erectors. It's a great way to activate some muscle fibers that you may not normally activate in the gym. All right, so get working those exercises. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to keep that supportive musculature around your back strong. So best of luck. Hey, listen, I appreciate everyone who's been coming to my website, www.ocramedhealth.com, and checking out our products. We have fascia release instruments. We have some exercise equipment, exercise bands, ab rollers. We do fitness programs. And I've mentioned that we have a new website that we're launching. It was a little bit delayed, but it definitely should be out in the next week or so. We're going to have some private content on there. We have a forum that we're setting up. You can directly ask me questions. We're going to have nutrition topics, body weight exercises, weightlifting topics. So there's going to be different parts to the forum, as well as just my personal blog's going to be on there, and some personalized videos just for people on the website. So when you get a chance, check it out. Like I said, the new site should be up in about a week. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel, Ocramed Health on YouTube. Questions about exercises or injuries, just leave me a comment in the comment section below. I try to do all I can to get back to everyone. And don't forget, Ocramed Health is here to keep you fit forever.